Listen up, y'all. This video may trigger you and it may offend you, but this is not the reason why I'm making this video. This man above me, his name is Bill Donahue. He was a pastor for over 20 years and ended up finding out the hidden meanings in the Bible through an awakening that he had. And the way he breaks down the Bible requires zero faith. He breaks it down in such a logical fashion that if you have a logical mindset and you're a believer in God like myself, but just miss me with the bullshit of these churches that are taking your money, telling you to give them tithing, well, I'm here to tell you, all that shit is a scam and it's bullshit. Tap in and listen why.
The Bible was not written by people from Pittsburgh. The Bible was written by the ancient Eastern people, and they knew numerology. They dwelled in the numbers of the zodiac. They dwelled in all various numbers that had meanings. Let me give you a quick rundown so you get an idea what I'm talking about. Hidden meanings. The number 1 means God, the Logos. The number 2 means body and soul, you and God. The number 3 means new life, resurrection, a new beginning. Jesus was in the tomb 3 days. Jonah was in the whale 3 days. The number 4 means your fourfold nature: physical, spiritual, intellectual, emotional. Okay? The number 5 means mediation. It also means sacrifice. I'm going to show you that a little later. The number 6 means doctrines, laws, religion. Don't you remember when Jesus turned water into wine? Water can mean on the lower level emotionalism. He turned water into wine. How many jars of water did it say he turned into wine? 6. In other words, he was turning the religion of the letter into that which is the movement of the divine essence of the Spirit. That's what it means, changing water into wine. Number 7 means divine intervention. Joshua walked around Jericho how many times? 7. And the walls came tumbling down. 7 means divine intervention. There are 7 nerve centers, or 7 chakras that rise from the base of the spine to the top, which are the 7 levels which a person walks in order to find that which is the pineal or enlightenment. It's all part of the Bible. It's all part of the ancient wisdom which is covered up in numbers. That's why a lot of your religious teachers, and you see them on TV, and they make such a terrible mistake. You know what they do? They go and say, well, there's going to be 7 years of tribulation. It doesn't mean that. The number 7 means divine intervention. What that means is when tribulation comes to your life, God will intervene on your behalf. It doesn't mean that God is going to send 7 years of terror. It means that God will intervene when the struggle comes against you. That's what 7 years of tribulation means. Divine intervention is 7. Number 8 means rupture, separation. Number 9 means the human consciousness. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Number 10 means completion. And the number of perfection in Hebrew is 12, which corresponds to the most ancient zodiac. Okay? Let's take a look at the number 9. And I'll show you how you can get all fouled up if you don't understand these numbers. It's just like, you've heard these teachers teaching all the time. It's going to be 7 years of tribulation. It doesn't mean that. If God is love, would he send you 7 years of hell? Like they say? No, it means he will intercede. Look at the number 9. The numerical value to the word Adam in Hebrew in the ancient scriptures is 9. Everything had a numerical value, and that's why there was such mystery in the ancient scriptures, because they used numbers to deceive people who tried to think intellectually. You know what you're doing? You know what we're doing? We're reading the Bible intellectually in the same way as if you and I said, let's go shoot the bull, and then somebody said, oh, they're going out and kill an animal. That's because they read us literally. They didn't read us symbolically. We're not going to go out and kill an animal. We're going to have a conversation. I said to your boy, you really spilled the beans. Well, they said, that must be some ritual. They're going to go out and get a broom and sweep up the beans. You're not to sweep up any beans. It just means you talked out of turn. He shot his mouth off. Pow! No, he didn't. It just means he said something he shouldn't have said. He's off the wall. Where's the wall? No, he's not. It means that he's strange. He's different. And you can think of thousands of symbolic verses that you use, and the Bible is filled with them, and yet you take it literally. That's how stupid we are. That's why you've got all of this in this country, in religion and fear and in misunderstanding and in suicides and all of this violence right in the middle of religion, because religion is teaching you literally what was intended to be taken symbolically. Oh, hey, you know yourself. You've read the story of Abraham and Sarah. She was 100 years old or something and had a baby, and you're taking this literally. It's not a literal story at all. It's an allegory. How do I know it? Look up Galatians 4:24. The Apostle Paul says the story of Abraham and Sarah, he says, which things are an allegory. It's a symbolic story. If the Bible says it, can't you even believe that? Galatians 4:24. But let's take a look at the number 9. The number 9 means Adam. Adam means earth. The earth means your flesh, your mind, your emotions, the ego, the macho, the I will do what I think and all this kind of business, okay? So when you use that number 9, it starts to reveal a lot of things to you, okay? If you look in the Bible, you'll see many references to 3.5 or 42 months, 3.5 years, 42 months. That all comes out to 9. Let me show you how. You'll see it as 42 months. You'll see it as 3.5 years. You'll see it as 1,260 days, because 3.5 years is 6 months. Okay, is 3 years and 6 months. That's 42 months. You take 42 times 30, you get 1,260. Okay. Now, when you add 1, 2, and 6, you get 9. That's the number of human consciousness. That's the Bible's way of hiding from the literal and the intellectual, spiritual, significant, deep mysteries that come out of the times of Egypt and Chaldea. They deliberately did this to hide from the profane people the powers that are in the inner consciousness, because they didn't want literal people getting a hold of these mysteries and using them for their own good or to raise money the way these evangelists and TV people do. Okay, this isn't for that. This should not cost you a dime. I'll give you a symbol. Tithing. How much money have these people made taking 10% out of your pocket? Tithing has nothing whatsoever to do with money. It's symbolic. It's a hidden myth. And what it means is you have 10% of you that is the carnal mind. 10% of you is the left side. It is the negative side. It is the carnal mind. 90% of you is the right hemisphere, which is dormant. God is saying to you, give me that 10%. Give me your ego. Give me your flesh. Give me your will. Through meditation, shut off the thoughts of the mind. You shut off the 10%, which is you. You turn on the right hemisphere, which is the 90%, which is him. You have tithed. Don't give... No, I'm not going to say, but you shouldn't give anybody 10% of anything. You should give God that 10%, which is you, by shutting off your ego and rising up into a high, beautiful consciousness with God. That's what tithing really means, giving God yourself, the 10%, the negative left side, the carnal, intellectual side. Now, let's look at the number 9. Like I said, we were going to look at the number 9. 3.5 months, 3.5 years, 42 months, they all equate to 1,260 days. If you look through the book of Revelation, you'll see all kinds of references to 3.5, 42, 1,260. They all add up to 9. So now when you have that key, that the number 9 means human consciousness, you can solve some riddles. You can solve the identity of the beast. Who is the beast? 666. Okay? Who is 666? This is the way you have to do it if you understand Eastern mysticism that wrote that. You take 6 plus 6 equals 12 plus 6 equals 18. Now you have 1, 8, 1 plus 8 equals 9. The identity of the beast is you and me, our lower carnal mind. It's the beast that rapes. It's the beast that makes wars. All of these horrible things that you read about every day in your newspaper and see every day on your television. And we can look at the beast by going into our bathroom, turning on the light, and there's a picture of the beast right over your sink. It is your lower mind. It is that part of you that threatens you, that part of you that convinces you you're not going to make it past tomorrow, that part of you that says, well, everything's okay now, but what are you going to do if, and what are you going to say when you meet so-and-so next week, and all of the stuff that keeps you rattling and shaking and all of those things within